Okay. So as we are going to just learn version control, so what exactly you have the idea like what are the type of version control tools you have used previously?
Uh, Exact to say, I haven't used any tools for
And
version control.
fine. So you must be aware like at least the fundamental thing what exactly is version control.
Uh, no.
No. Okay. Fine. So version control when we say actually it is simply we can tell this as a software or a piece of software which actually allows us to store our data somewhere where along with that it helps us to collaborate like the it helps the developers mostly we can say it helps the developers or software developers to collaborate their work or put their work together and continue. Okay. So what we are going to cover here is mostly we'll see what is version control system, what are the different types of this version control system, some of the basic concepts, then installation. Installation is quite easy. It's not a big deal actually totally. Then what is the life cycle of Git, configuring the Git and Git operations like create, clone, push, update, move, rename, delete. What are the Git of different operations we are going to perform on Git? I want one more I forgot, that is branching. How we do branching. Okay, all those things we will be covering in for Git. So probably one of the today's class some will go to till configuration and uh, all the operations will probably we can cover it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so till installation and configuration will do today, and some basic like operations may I can show you also.
Mm.
Okay, so a that's what I said, like a software that helps software developers to work together and maintain a complete history of their work. So whenever in a development environment, the developers work, and we have to store those files. So we can say the Git as a two types of thing. It can we can call it a version control system as well as we can call it as a repository. So usually the repositories are the name itself says the repositories are basically to store something, right? So it allows developers to work simultaneously. So different developers will be working on different modules, right? So some if someone is working on database, someone is working on UX changes, UX development. So whatever code they write, they do check in to a particular branch. So first of all, whenever think of like a Git is Git has been installed and configured, then the first task is to create a branch. So I will also tell you what are the basic terminologies which are related to Git. The that's what we call basic concepts or basic terminologies. Okay. So once you install Git, you have to create a branch. Once so what does a branch here means? Like it's a different think of a tree. So every branch has its own characteristics or properties, or different you can say different sizes or different number of leaves, kind of. So that concept is similar to Git branching as well. So in a particular branch, you have a particular release. Okay. So whenever you are working on a release one or release two, you create a branch release one. So once you release one, what all completes, then what you have to do, you have to integrate all the code into that particular release, and you will send them to a build engine like Jenkins or Maven or Bamboo. Okay. So once you have completed that one, if you have some issues, some fixes, you want to again you have to fix. I mean, change the code according to the for the fixes. Then at that moment you have to rebranch. I mean, create a new branch instead of changing the same parent branch. You create a new branch and put all the changes there. So once the fixes are done, those two different branches will be merged. That is what we call as merging of branches. So, and that will be released again as a complete version of the software. So it also does one of the feature is it does not allow overwriting of each other's changes, right? So, and maintains a history of every version.
Okay. Ajay, can you show this one on one Word file, just like rough diagram on a notepad?
What is that?
Can you open the paint and show me what we discussed now, right?
Yeah, we have a picture. I'll show you. And going later on, we have this one. Life cycle we are going to.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
We'll see that. So, what type? There are few types of version control systems we have. Initially, it started with local. So it's very simple. When I say local, how do you keep a backup? I mean, how do you store your, if you are alone, you are a single person, or even if you are at your home, you usually copy photos or some files or some video files, right, to a particular folder. Okay, if you think, I can tell you a very common example uh, from a camera, right, or any mobile, your any type of digital camera. You copy a directory to keep as a, I mean, you want to empty your memory card, and you keep the files there in somewhere in your computer, right? So usually, if you remember, maybe whatever camera it is, I believe the folder name is DCIM, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So once you copy, and second time when you copy, you either rename the folder or you do something like that. Inside that, mostly the file names are saved. Whenever you, I mean, the first time or second time you copy, the file names are saved. So either you have, how you do keep them, either you change the folder names differently, or you have to modify all the file names to a different name, so that that will not collide. I mean, that will not be overridden. So that is a simple example I can give of local repositories, or keeping local versions. So in that case, sometime what happens, if you forgot to rename the folder, and second time when you copy, it just replaces it. In that case, you lost your previous data, isn't it? So that is the basic problem. And also, it is very difficult to collaborate. Like, we cannot, if multiple people are working in the same file, it is very difficult to merge those changes in a local repository. So that's just a starting concept. Okay. So once those issues and problems found, people move to centralized type of version control system. You heard about SVN?
Yeah.
Yeah. SVN is a type of centralized version control system. Okay. There, what happens? We have a central server. It is the complete thing is server client model, based on server client model, and all the content what we are going to store is on a centralized server. So, if a centralized version control system uses a central server to store all files and enables team collaboration. So, the benefit we got is team collaboration. Everyone can check in or check out the code to the centralized repository, and later that can be taken out to a build system. Okay, so what was the major drawback we got from centralized system is, it is the failure of the central server. Say the server failed, or the network connection failed, or the database got corrupted, or even if the hard disk fails. If you don't have a appropriate or accurate uh, backup, you are going to in a trouble. Why? Because that is the only single point of like resource you have in centralized servers, where you are dependent on that particular server to get your code. So if your code is if your central server is down, you cannot sync, I mean you cannot store the code anymore. So that being a major problem in centralized systems, people try to came up with new solutions, that is called as distributed version control systems. So what is the basic concept of distributed version control system? Like centralized system, we are storing a central copy of the data is stored in a central server. In distributed system, it is being stored only, I mean, it is being stored in a server, but the clients, we do copy that whole data to whenever we want to work, we can copy the whole data and keep in our local machine. So that helped us to eradicate the problem of like losing the central server. Even if we lose the data on a server, we can take the copy or take the content from any of the client who are actually using this distributed version control system. So Git falls under into this category, like Git falls into distributed version control system. Okay, so that's what it says. DVCS clients not only check out the latest snapshot of the directory, but they also fully mirror the repository. If the server goes down, then the repository from any client can be copied back to the server to restore it. Every checkout is a full backup of the repository. So when I say checkout, so there is one operation we are going to discuss, that is clone. Okay, so when I say clone from the central repository, or here we are not going to say it's central repository, from the repository or server, repository server, we are just cloning the entire content to our local machine. And also the benefit we are getting is, even if your network is down, okay, you are unable to connect to the central server, to the repository server, you can still work on your code. You can work, you can save the work whenever the repository is available. At that time, you push the code, you make it, I mean you commit it. Commit is the another function, another operation we'll learn. You just commit it so that your codes will be synced with the repository server. So these are the few concepts of repository server. Like I was telling, you should know what is what. If you, I mean, after this we can look into all the installation and configuration. So give me a moment. Yeah. So, so before going to that, some few more advantages of this kind of decentralized, sorry, distributed version control system is, or Git. We can say advantage of Git is it stores the data in a secure fashion. Like Git uses a common cryptographic hash function called secure hash function. Okay, SHA-1. If you want to learn, you can just search in Google SHA-1 type of security. Okay, you may note it down, Anand. SHA-1, like it will be like this. You can note it down and you can like check how it actually works. So basically this is the encryption method using which your data is being stored in your repository. Okay. So another comparison we can do with this one, centralized and distributed. In centralized, as I said, all the data is going to be stored in a central server. So the central server, all the users, those who are actually pulling the code or pushing the code, are concurrently connected to the server. So let's say 50 or 60 members are at a time pulling or pushing the code. That means the server must be busy serving all the requests. So that means it needs a a good hardware or good resource like multiple processors or some more physical RAM or some disks it needs, so that it can actually serve all the requests. Whereas in distributed version control system, there is no mandatory requirement of any high-end hardware. Even if you have a small server like in say Amazon, even if you have a T1 or T2 micro instance, we can still work on this Git. We can easily install and start working. So this is the method SHA1, which encryption method, which actually uses, and usually if in an interview, if you have in the job description, if you have a requirement of Git, this is a basic question people ask, that what is the encryption method being used by Git? Okay, and like if you know about SHA1, you can describe at that point. Okay, so now, yeah, you are asking something?
No, I'm good.
Fine. So now, what is the this one are the terminologies or concepts which you are going to be used, or whenever you talk about Git or something, these terminologies will come. So local repository, when we say local repository, it is nothing but it provides a private workplace as a working copy on your local machine. So developers make changes in their private workplace, and after commit, actually that will be going to be synced to your repository server. You get it that right? So whenever, if you think there is a server, you can say, like, if you,
Ajay, I'll also start this instance.
yeah, meanwhile you can start the instance.
Which image you need?
Pardon?
Image. Amazon Linux is enough, right?
Amazon, yes, Amazon, because Amazon, I prefer Amazon because they have the repositories ready for that.
Yeah, ready. Yeah.
Ready repositories we get on that.
Yeah.
If this is a Git server, you just have your client here, and the connection you can do directly. You will just, what do I say is, you just download. So thinking this is your own local machine, and you want to get the content of the file, the server, or your repository or your a particular branch. You just clone it. It will be there in your server, and the copy you do, that works actually as a the clone you do, that works as a backup, that works as a your where the location where you copy those things, that is called as your local repository, or that is also the directory itself called as your working directory. So whatever changes you are willing to make, you have to make at that particular location, and after that you can like commit, or you can save your changes to the repository as well. Yeah. So blobs, it is binary. Blobs means binary large objects. Okay. So what is this blobs is? It is a type of data. If you have sometime worked on MySQL or some other databases, this is the common type of storing, common type of data to be stored. Other than like characters, integers, all this, blob is the object type of data which is being stored in a database. So definitely Git uses a database to store your codes and all, which actually becomes the type is blob.
I've logged on to Ubuntu. Is that fine
Yeah, Ubuntu is
or
fine also.
AMI? Or should I go to AMI only?
Amazon is good, preferred, but Ubuntu also not a problem.
Command line would be same, huh?
Not little bit. I mean, Git only installation command is different. Otherwise, other things are same. Other commands,
For Ubuntu,
for Git commands are basically same, because it is a third party tool. It is not dependent on the OS, right? So that's why they both are same. On any machine, it's fine. No, not a problem.
so shall I start connect to Ubuntu or AMI?
If you have a AMI ready, you can connect to that.
Okay, both I have.
Yeah, you connect to anyone, man. That's fine. Absolutely, not a problem.
Okay, I'm
Because
connecting to Ubuntu only.
here Ubuntu, you will use the apt get install something, or sorry, in Amazon Linux, it is a simple Linux command, yum install.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then I'm trying Ubuntu.
Yeah. If you are comfortable with Ubuntu, you connect to Ubuntu apt get. I don't work on Ubuntu basically. Mostly I prefer CentOS or Amazon Linux on here. But like, as we are, it's not the point of OS, right? So it's, you can go to as per your comfortability.
So generally, we keep on working on
Ubuntu.
Amazon Linux, right? No. Amazon Linux is common, right?
Yeah.
So there, it's a common command. Sudo bash, right? Okay. What is a yum apt-get apt-get?
APT.
Start off or
Yeah, let's complete it. It's just, that will take few minutes, and because
yeah.
we are not going to set a server today. Okay, we just I will installation and configuration we can do later. We can in tomorrow we can do a server setup and a like the operations. Okay.
Okay, now you want me to update the repository apt-get
Update.
space update, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Done.
Okay, so while your system updates, so next coming to trees. So what is a tree? Tree is an also object type of thing which actually represents your directory, your working directory. It holds actually the all the blob type of objects as well as other subdirectories. Okay, so that is what I mean. It is your whatever code you write on on your local system and you commit them to your Git server, those are being structured as a tree. So when I say again, the next concept is like the terminology is commit. So committing is nothing but saving your changes to the repository or committing your changes to the repository. So once you commit, then only all the content will be available in the repository and all other people can get it, clone it back so that they can work on in further modifications or changes. Tags are nothing but just like some what is that? Some name or some meaningful name you can name to your mm, repository. Like what else? What we can say? Anyway, like you do a tagging in the Amazon system, like EC2 while creating a instance, right? There is the option tag. You just keep a
Yes,
name,
yes.
give a name to make ourselves understand what exactly the type of, like say if it is a with branching, branch number of branch number, or if it is a maintenance release, so just tag it as MR like that. Okay, so tagging is nothing but giving a meaningful name to make ourselves understand what type of repository we are going to use. Then it comes to clone. So cloning, when we say cloning, actually this is from a Git repository when we want to pull the data. So we do a clone. So clone, and using pull we will clone. Pull is the command and clone also is a command where a completely whole database of the repository will come to your local machine. Whereas when we do a pull, it only specifically whatever you mention, only that part, that chunk of data will come to your machine. That is the difference between clone and pull. Clone will come, whole full site will be copied. Then push is the operations where we do like the changes we made, we submit that to the repository.
So clone will copy all repository.
No, not all repository. For example, you have multiple in one repository you have multiple projects. Okay, it will copy only one. I mean, you must have a URL of the particular project. So you have to git clone. The command is git clone space the complete URL of the project. So the cloning will be going to clone only one project for you.
Mhm.
Whereas pull means if in that particular project you have multiple files or directories, so you can pull that particular directory or particular file so that if you want to start working on that. Then as I said, it is submitting your data to the repository. Head actually is it's a what is it? It's just a pointer which always points to the latest commit in the branch. So just remember, committing, branching, all these are common terms we keep on hearing while learning Git. So head, what is head? Head is the basic, I mean, it's just a pointer which always points to the latest commit, last commit, or we can say whatever commit you have done previously, it is the head. When you say head, or we have a configuration file. This one, once we install, we can see this file. Okay. Slash git slash refs slash heads, I think. If you use this command ls-1, this file, you will see something coming like master or some, sorry, here. and heads slash your branch name. Usually by default the branch is master. If you do this, okay, so let it be ls. There are two commands. Where is this? So you will be seeing a hash file, hashed number. Okay, a 20, exact some 54 or some characters number. That is what a hash tag, and it will that is what called as the head of a particular repository.
For Ubuntu, apt and get.
What is that?
For Ubuntu, what command you use?
Yeah,
apt
apt
get.
hyphen get, yes. apt-get install git or git core. Try with this.
apt get install
Git, git or git dash core.
Okay. Okay. Will start installation?
Yeah, this will start installation.
No, we will start.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, done.
Then use the git version to check out the version of what version of
Yeah,
installation you have set up.
1.9.1.
Yes, that's the latest one, I believe. So wait for a few minutes. We are going to configure it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain you the git life cycle. So there are, if you think of, there are like the installation are, if you have a git repository, we have to create a git repository. Okay, then the using a git client, what you can do, these are the different various operations, and these are the how this all repository things work. What you do first, you clone from the repository to a working copy, where you edit, add, move your files. Okay, so first operation, whenever you have a blank machine, sorry, blank, um, create a blank copy of your repository, and then you clone the data to your local machine using git clone. We are going to see the operations and commands also. After that, what you do after you edit, add, or move, or copy, or rename files, whatever you want, the operation, the functions or functionalities you do, you check the status different operations. Like you can, there is a command git status that is going to show you how actually the what are the different files you have modified, you have updated. Once you get to see the changes and modifications. We can review the changes by some Scrum Master. Okay, then we can commit and push the changes. So here, when we commit the changes, it goes back to the repository, and then again we can copy the fix the mistakes, or some if we have some mistakes done or something, then the mistakes or the problems can be fixed, and we can re-push it to the repository. So amend and push operations once again. So this is how actually it's a very simple concepts in repository, and practically Git is really very lightweight and very easy to use. So these are the basic configuring a Git machine. I'm sorry. So git config is the command. So one by one option will be explain you. Hyphen dash dash global user dot name. You have to set a username who is going to access. Like this configuration we are doing a client side. Okay, the server side is a little bit different. Then git config global user email ID. You have to set up your email ID as well, so that you can if you have a LDAP or some authentication method, that is going to use your LDAP username to be logged in. Then it comes to git config global branch autos super base always. So this option, you just remember that this option helps us not to override the changes of all other teammates. Then git config global color.ui equal to true. So this enables this color color UI, color status, color branch. It will enable to view some colored representation of while you do the git operations. Like you check the status, you check you see the branch or create a branch. All those you can actually see in a colorful manner. Then enable merging. So what is merging again? When different people commits, or whenever you clone your repository, you change them and you recommit them to the repository. At that time, we need some tool which actually can get the difference and check in the only the different or edited codes, new codes to the repository. To enable that, it needs a tool to get the differentiation. So we can use VIM diff. This is the basic tool used by Git to check the difference. Git config -f global merge dot tools VIM diff. So before that, you check whether you have a VIM diff tool installed or not. Then you can, to see all this config, you can do a git config -f list. So this is going to show you all the configurations.
Okay.
So you can just have a look on this. I can do this commands one time. So now the target is, see, we don't have a Git server as of now. We can take some open source project which we can clone, and we can actually we should not edit it. Just to see the operations we can see. Otherwise, I have a online like cloud-based Git provider, or that is I think codeschools.com.
What is that name?
Code Schools.
Four schools, okay.
Code. Code School or Code Schools. Yeah, Code School only.
See, when I run this command, right?
Yeah.
The third command.
Yes.
To what? Okay. If you I've entered the username
Yeah.
and your mail ID. When I set the branch auto setup, rebase always, it asked me to make it global. So when I made it global, then
Okay.
after I execute that command,
Okay.
it is giving global G tags are not found. Global tags are not found.
Global tags are not found. So can you just paste that error?
Yeah, G tags not found. Global colon space G tags not found. Hello.
Yeah.
Ajay, you told me this is user side configuration, right? Client.
Yes.
So we'll install server now on the same machine or
Server will do tomorrow, man. It's already 7:30.
how long does it take?
Server setup will take at least half an hour to 45 minutes. Setup is not difficult. Installation is not difficult. The configuration takes time. Sometime.
Then I'll
I lost your voice. If you can hear me.
do we need two instances?
Yes, we need two instances.
Okay, I've already launched another plain AMI.
Yeah.
So on that we'll install server.
Sure. Sure.
Only just do installation and tomorrow we'll do configurations like you said. It's already that is also powered on.
Okay. For see, here we have the latest one is 2.7.4
Mm-hmm.
in Amazon. That's why I got confused when I say 1.9. I was I last installation I did was 2.4 or 2.3. So I was just confused. Like I was thinking, I remembered like I was using 2 how it came to 1.9. So probably for
Mm-hmm.
Ubuntu the latest maybe 1.9. But
Mm-hmm.
for Amazon it is 2.7.
Mm-hmm. Then we'll make Amazon only. I've got one more instance. I'll connect to that. So now we have set up on client side, right?
Yeah.
User
So before
and
that,
on
see,
server.
you are seems like you are very in a hurry. See, first let's go step by step. Installation is not a big deal. What we need to do is you need to learn the operations as well, right? So here
Mhm.
why I showed you pointed out to Code School is there are already predefined there is a predefined server using which it explains you it is very easy to get the hands-on operations.
Mhm.
You just go to Code School and register it, and you will later on also you will find it helpful. And some tutorials or some documents also here. That's why I am referring here. Okay.
And okay, log down to this one, another instance. I'll see. Yeah, it is giving on Amazon. It is 2.7.4.
Yeah.
You will get by default if you do m update on Git.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
uh,
It will
if you do
update.
m update.
Yeah. Next time, whenever you like do another update.
Okay, it is 2.7.4. Yeah, perfect. Please go ahead. Code school. Okay.
There you go to courses. So it is mostly your coding. If you want to learn some Python or some HTML, also like later on you can just have a look on this.
Mm-hmm.
Click on try Git.
I'll register this.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. So these are mostly virtual labs actually.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want me to show or like you'll continue because see I have only 10 minutes to go. So before you do it, let me show at least one time. You can continue it with it. Tomorrow we'll definitely configure the server and we same. This is think of this is the client side. Okay, like you are there is already a Git server, but you are you are some this one you are doing on your client. Some steps are also related to server as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So to start some in any Git repository, first what we want to do is we have a command named git init, which actually creates a folder structure for the Git repository. So what it says is it initializes empty Git repository. Okay. Then if you say git status on branch master, so by default a branch named master gets created. So here you don't have nothing to commit or nothing to add. So what this if even if this commands git commands also suggest you what can be done. So nothing to commit as of now. Why? Because we, if you say ls, we have one file here, but it is not added to the whatever directory we this one project we created. We have to add this file, then only we can commit it. So what it is saying, nothing to commit file, and you can use just git add to track that. So now when you say git status, also you can see there is a file octacat.txt. So this file now, think of this is a code or this is something you have created or you have modified. So now the git also suggests git add the file name to, if you say this line, nothing added to commit but untracked files present. Use git from these messages, we can actually see what we can do it. So you just this stuff, man. Whatever. But it's output, sorry. Okay. So now, so what we have done using the git add command, we have created a, I mean uploaded a octacat file. So even though we have
Mm-hmm.
added, we have only added the file, but the file is yet to go to the server. So now where is the file? So the file is in a intermediate state. Okay, neither it is went to the server, it is out from your server, your local machine, but it is not yet received by the server. Why? Only adding the file or directory or whatever you have newly created or modified, it actually goes to a staging area. Okay, the intermediate state, what we call as staging area. So it goes to a staging area. From that, now, if again it says to check the git status, so now it will say, it will be, we have files to commit. So git states actually we have a file named octocat, and now we can actually commit the file. how it, when you say commit, it actually goes to directly to the server and stores. Git commit -m is for adding any message. Now you get the message. Whatever master this file we added, now it is got to your Git repository server. And if I create a model, this is the code of the file permission and code where AutoCAD file has been created. So one file changed, one file insertion has been done. Now the next command again you can try is thanks man. Now if you say git status, we have few more files where has been updated, and we can also do a git commit add or the so once you are commit all the files, if you want to check, if you can check the log for the messages, like I told you, like this particular code, it is the SHA1 code which actually identifies all the commits you are doing. So this is how you can see the logs, git log. Hello.
What was the earlier command?
Git log.
No, before that. Git space commit.
Before that, git space commit.
-m.
-m.
Add.
Any message. Like for this instance, this is our just a virtual instance, right? So we have to type this only. But whenever you on a real time, whenever you do your like code commits, whatever check-ins you have to do, you write your own message, like by a date or by your username, something like that. You give a identification to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So git remote add origin. So what does this will do? See, we have a GitHub. GitHub is the open source tool, open source repository for everyone. If you also want, you can create your account and you can create repositories there to use. Like instead of setting up your Git server, GitHub provides some database where you can store your data online. Okay. Now git push -u origin master. So we are actually we are creating another branch set up to track remote branch master as origin. Origin we have given a name, and then we can actually do a git pull origin master. So what we have done actually, this is a URL where we want to get our code. So we are, if you see, if you are pulling our code from the origin master. So this is a pre-created branch on the GitHub. We are just pulling the code here. So see, we have set, I mean, in this command, git remote add origin. So this actually what it did, it added this path as a source from where we are willing to get some files and folders. So when we did a git pull from origin master, so what is the origin? The URL is the origin. What is the branch? Master is the branch. You understand it, right?
Yeah.
So we got a few files, like one file like yellow octocat.txt, which is like it was not with us. Now we have downloaded this file from the Git repository. Now git diff. So we are talking about the head. So head actually it is showing last. What was the last update? This was the last update happened. Like this is the new file or the content of this was the file you can see last committed file. Now we can do one more add, git add. This file again added to the Git repository. So now if you say we have the last status, what we have done, we have added a new file. So in previous difference we saw that we have the octocat was the last file we added in the last git diff head, and now whenever after the file change, when we say again git difference, we have the last octodog has been added. Now git we are resetting the file here, means we are emptying the file, and now we'll do a git checkout. So git checkout is actually completes your checking out the code to the repository. Sorry. Now you can clean the branch. So clean underscore up is the keyword git branch. You can clean up, and now you can again check it out. Now if you say ls, there may be few files. All the txt files, what we are doing, we are changing it. Git rm, we are removing all the txt files. So now if you say ls, you did not use git command, so there is no files anymore. So all the txt files has been deleted. Now again we can git commit. So what is the change we did? Removed all the, it says the cats, the files which are named with cat, so it is just saying for fun, like we have removed all the cats. So that is just a message we can do. whenever we want, whatever we want to write according to our change. Then git, again you do a checkout master, and now we have, if you remember, we have two branches. One is origin and another is our own master. So we are going to get them. Sorry, merge in the later command. So all the things has been cleaned. Now if you see what we have nothing actually. You can directly git push. So ultimately git push is the command which writes all the files and folders whatever you have changed to your git repository. So this is the URL we copied, right, initially. So everything whatever we modified and changed now has been pushed to your git repository. We have set it git as a origin and this URL. It has been completed and committed to push to your repository. So these are the basic operations which you should know on any client side, and these are the basic day-to-day commands you are going to use. Yeah, I have a cheat sheet. I can send it to you where you can find few more commands which will be helpful to you. And I suggest you just go to Coursebooks and register yourself and do this lab yourself to, I mean, understand it better. And if you have some queries, you can post me or you can email. I mean, tomorrow we can discuss along with the installation and configuration of the Git server.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So send me the
yesterday's files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday files and clean sheet on the commands what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheat sheet.
Don't forget. You have my email.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, I will send you today.
Do it right away because again, once you go to office, you'll forget.
Yeah, sure.
Once you get it right, okay.
Yeah.
Because even I am very good at that. Once I reach shut down my laptop, I'll forget.
It's not about forget.
Get into office.
I did have like I remembered it, but somehow like I didn't get time. So
yeah, that's what.
I will be doing it today.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll generally we will be sync up with our work, right?
Yeah.
Then we'll make the commitment because I keep saying when I do some trainings to my teams and all, I'll tell them I'll send you the commands, but immediately I'll forget. That's why I do it when.
True, that's true. Absolutely, sometimes it happens. So no way, I am just sending it right away. Okay. So please, I mean, excuse. I mean, I have to do one more. I mean, meeting. Okay. So we'll meet tomorrow again. Chalo. Bye bye, Anand.